Are you looking for a lightweight stroller and are not wanting to compromise on features like a reversible seat, a large storage basket, a good push, an adjustable handlebar, good newborn options, and so much more? Well, then this is the video for you. We're going to be comparing the two very popular Nuna strollers, the Nuna SWIV and the Nuna Triv, as well as the Mamazing Air Lux, which is a new competitor in the lightweight category, and I'm excited to help you figure out which of these strollers is right for you. If you're new here, I'm Emily. I'm the stroller mom, a mom of three, and a car seat passenger safety tech. And what makes my channel unique is I provide honest reviews of strollers and baby gear from a mom's perspective as a mom who actually uses the products. If you haven't already, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I cannot tell you how much this helps me be able to make more videos just like this one, and shop through the links below. I do have a discount code for one of these strollers. And this video is made in partnership with Mamazing. However, all opinions are my own. It is something that is very important to me. In fact, they're not even seeing this video until it goes live for all of you to see as well. The Nuna Triv Next has held a very special place in my heart. I remember being a first-time mom and seeing the Nuna Triv before the Next came out and being like, this is the stroller I wish I would have gotten. It seemed perfect. It had a seat that could fold in either directions. It was lightweight, but still gave you a lot of the features many parents look for with their first baby. And since then, we've been seeing more and more lightweight strollers come to the market, and I'm very excited about it. But we've not seen many options in the more budget-friendly category, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you to the Mamazing Air Lux, which has a lot of the same features of these two strollers on paper, but I'm excited to kind of help walk you through and help you decide if one of these is right for your family. So let's start out with price, because that is definitely the biggest difference across these three strollers. The Mamazing, you can get it in two different configurations. So either with the Bassinet, which also comes with car seat adapters for Nuna, Maxi Cozy, Cybex, and Kleck car seats, as well as a parent cup holder, or you can buy it just as the stroller, which you see here. It also includes car seat adapters. So it's going to be priced at $329 for just the stroller seat, and then $500 with the Bassinet. Now this price ranges, and I do have a discount code, so check out the description below, but you'll see different prices on Amazon as well as Mamazing sites, but that's kind of the general pricing they have listed. And then we have the Nuna Triv Next. This retails for $800, and you can buy it with the stroller as you see here. You do have to buy additional accessories like a cup holder separately. It does also include the ring adapter to work with all Nuna Pippa car seats. But the Nuna Triv Next also can come in a configuration with the Pippa Urban. And in fact, that's the only way you can get the Pippa Urban, which is Nuna's baseless car seat. What is so unique about this car seat is rather than having a base, you just clip the car seat right into the lower anchors in your car, which make it super easy to transition between mom's car and dad's car and grandparents' car, as well as being great for travel or ride shares. And I found it was very helpful as a mom of three, being able to get to my other children, buckle in my middle daughter who is rear facing, and then be able to put the baby right there. So that's kind of a cool feature, but it also works with other Nuna Pippa car seats, so you have some good options there. For the Nuna SWIV, you actually get a lot more included, but it also comes at a higher price point. This stroller retails for $1,000, and you get a parent cup holder, a rain cover, and a dust bag. And what makes this stroller super unique is you have these cool 360 wheels, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. It also comes with the Nuna ring adapter, and you can purchase it with the Nuna Pippa Urban as well if you want that option. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I do have a review coming very soon of the brand new to the US Nuna Triv LX, which has more all-terrain capabilities as well as a newborn recline. So subscribe and we'll have that video in just a few weeks. Now, what these strollers all have in common, on top of being lightweight, is they can fold with the seat in either direction. Lots of modular strollers, you have to turn the seat parent facing to be able to fold the stroller. But with these three, you can fold it with the seat in either direction, and it is so easy. They also all have very easy magnetic buckles, include bumper bars, as well as having no rethread harnessing, peekaboo windows, and all-weather seats. So you can see there's mesh here, and there's a cover that you can put on, and then I have it on this one with a larger mesh portion there as well. What's super unique though about two of these strollers is they are made with carbon fiber frames. So the Mamazing as well as the Nuna SWIV have carbon fiber. You can kind of see the unique design here. And the benefit of carbon fiber is it is a more durable and lightweight material to aluminum. And then they also all have super easy flip-flop friendly brakes and great basket space. And as we'll see in just a minute, the basket weight capacity is very different on these 3 strollers. So let's start it with handlebar. We have a pivoting handlebar with one hand on the Mamazing Air Lux. And on the Triv, you're gonna have an expandable telescopic handlebar here. And then on the SWIV, you're gonna have a pivoting handle as well. Now, if you're a tall parent, you may wanna go with the Nuna Triv. You're gonna have the tallest handlebar height here. The SWIV is actually the shortest. However, I will say my husband and I both found us kicking on the Mamazing depending on the position of the handlebar more, because there's a bar across the back and where the brake is located. So if you have a taller stride, there's a chance you might engage the brake on that stroller. Whereas on the Nuna SWIV, you can see it's open on the back, and the same is true with the Triv. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are a taller parent, but I will say in general, myself at 5'5" and my husband at 6 foot did find overall, we were able to find a good position on all of these strollers. Now, all 3 of these strollers do have mesh peekaboo windows that overall stay open. However, if you have a really windy day, that is not as common. So the one that's gonna probably stay open the best is actually the Mamazing, with just how the materials are. The Nunas, it just depends on how windy your day is, but I'm so glad they have peekaboo windows. Now, as you can see here, all 3 of these do have expansions on the canopies that you can unzip, and they are pretty dang similar. You do have more mesh coverage for added airflow on the Mamazing, but depending on where the sun is, it also lets in more sun, so there's pros and cons there. And then you have mesh on the side and fabric on the top on both of the Nunas. In regards to the materials, you can see there's a more premium feel to the 2 Nuna strollers over the Mamazing. However, the Mamazing is made with Okiotech fabric, which means it's free from a bunch of chemicals. And then on the Nunas, you do have Green Guard Gold certification. And I do have a full blog post talking about Green Guard Gold and which strollers have it, so check that out in the description below. And you can see here they all have really impressive canopies, but I do want to show one more thing. On these Nunas, it just like clicks back super easily. And on the Mamazing, it's just, again, this is where you're paying significantly less for this stroller. So that's kind of where you see some of the cost savings. Now, moving on to the seats. All of these seats are modular, meaning they can face towards or away from the parent, and they can work up to 50 pounds. In regards to the seat back height, I have kids who are very tall, specifically my older 2. And my almost 4-year-old, who's like 98th percentile for height, can fit in all 3 of these strollers currently, but she is right on the top of the canopy. She will be 4, and honestly, at this stage, she generally prefers to walk. If we're using a stroller, it's for like very short trips. So all 3 of these strollers you will be able to use well into your children's toddler years, and I think that's really nice considering it still is a more lightweight, compact stroller. Now, if you want to get really nitty-gritty, the Triv is technically a little taller and deeper in the seat, so your child will have a bit more room, and then the Nuna SWIV is actually the widest but the shortest in regards to depth. And then this one is kind of right there in the middle. So I feel like the Mamazing is kind of a mix of these 2 in a more affordable product, which is kind of nice. Now, you do have lower footrest and calf supports on both the Nuna Triv Next as well as the Mamazing Air Lux. The Nuna SWIV, you do have a calf support, but there's no like lower support for your child. And then all 3 of them do have lower footrest as your kids grow. And on the back of both of the Nuna strollers, you do have a lower zipper pocket where you can put your phone. To move the strollers to be parent facing, it is very simple on all of them. It's actually the same. You're going to just push these 2 buttons, and then you can move the seat and make it parent face. And all 3 strollers have the same mechanism for reclining. It's just gonna be a button back here on the back. And you can see that the least recline is actually the Nuna SWIV, followed by the Nuna Triv Next, and then the Mamazing is gonna be the closest to near flat, but they still don't advertise using the seat until your baby is at least 6 months old. Now, none of these strollers work from birth in the seat without the addition of a car seat or a bassinet. So let's talk through the options you have as parents for the newborn stage. Starting with car seat adapters, you get a ring adapter, which looks just like this on both the Nuna SWIV and the Nuna Triv Next, and the Pippa car seats all easily fit inside. On the Air Lux, you have more options. So it works with Maxi Cozy, which if you're looking for a more affordable infant car seat that also doesn't have flame retardants, Maxi Cozy is a great option. It also works with Cybex and Kleck as well as Nuna. So you're gonna take the Nuna Pippa car seat, let's take it off of this, and you can easily pair it here right on these peg adapters. So the ring adapter is a little bit easier to put the car seat on, but you get used to the peg adapters. And in fact, if you go with any other model that's not a Nuna stroller, almost always these are the adapters you're gonna have, even in the travel stroller category. And you can attach a car seat right there, and it does lock in. And then to take it off, there's 2 buttons here on the side that you'll just pull up and be able to remove your car seat. Now the car seat adapter does fold on all 3 of these strollers, but what's kind of unique about the Nuna SWIV and the Nuna Triv Next is you have a bar here in the middle and you just grab it and the stroller collapses right in half. Now you can get a bassinet for all 3 of these strollers. I don't own the Nuna one, but you can purchase it for an additional $500. Now the benefit is it is Safe Sleep approved and it does come with a bassinet stand. However, something to keep in mind on the Nuna Triv and the Nuna SWIV stroller is the bassinet is on the smaller side, very similar to this one. So your baby will outgrow it potentially sooner than they will say with like the Nuna Mix bassinet or the Up a Baby bassinet. So that's just something to keep in mind, especially since you're paying $500 for a bassinet. This one obviously is a lot more affordable and you can purchase it with the stroller, depending on the price point at around $500, often less. So right now they're doing a Black Friday sale, but you can check out the link in the description below to be able to see what the price of this stroller will be with the bassinet. Now, this bassinet is loaded with features. I will say the materials are very similar to what you see on the stroller. However, you have a nice sunshade, which I will tell you the bassinet I had when my first baby was born did not have this, and the sun was always on her because she was laying down. So I love that they have this here, and there's mesh on the side, and then you can easily tuck it in. They have this panel here that you can easily remove for like an all-weather winter seat. And I will say this bassinet is not Safe Sleep approved, so you would just use it when you're supervising your baby and you're not able to necessarily take it, like there's no stand for it, so it's meant for use with your stroller. You do have mesh in several places on this bassinet, which is so nice. You have mesh here, and then there's also mesh in the seat. Now all 3 of these strollers actually have really decent basket access. However, the weight capacity is very different. In fact, the perhaps fatal flaw on the Nuna Triv Next is that the basket can only hold 10 pounds. Now I personally have put a lot more than 10 pounds in here, but that really is at your own discretion. The Nuna SWIV does have a bigger basket capacity at 22 pounds, and there's a little pocket in the back, which is nice for like putting your wallet or things like that. And then on the Mamazing Air Lux, you have a 30-pound basket according to the tag on the basket. However, if you read the manual, it'll say 4.4 pounds. And I will say I just did the Mamazing Ultra Air in a comparison to other carbon fiber strollers, and that basket has 4.4 pounds. So I think it just wasn't updated on the manuals. But I will say, and this is based also on many of the reviews, because I always read other customers' reviews, that there have been some minor issues with language barrier in regards to customer service. So that's something to keep in mind. You are getting a really great stroller for the price, but they don't have the same presence in the US as far as customer service goes as you do with some of the other companies on the market. Now let's talk about the push of all 3 of these strollers because they all have a few different features. And we'll start with the Nuna SWIV, which is Nuna's carbon fiber stroller with 360 wheels. We are starting to see this come onto the market more, and I will be doing more reviews on these 360 wheel strollers, but basically it makes navigating tight spaces really nice. In elevators, for example, a lot of times with like your standard stroller, you'll have to like reposition to get over to make room. Whereas with the Nuna SWIV, you can just pull it and it goes right to the side and then the wheels lock in place. Because of that, and I think the carbon fiber frame, this stroller does feel a little stiffer to me than say the Nuna Triv Next, and I found that like as regards to suspension and things like that. But I also like that it has a more sturdy feel when folded and pushing as well. So there's kind of trade-offs there. The wheels are a little bit larger on the Nuna Triv Next and then a lot larger on the Nuna Triv LX. So again, go check out that review as soon as it's live, depending on when you're watching this. But it does have a pretty good push for being such a lightweight stroller, and I've really liked that on the Nuna Triv Next. Now on the Mamazing, you have the carbon fiber, so like the really nice lightweight sturdy design, and we'll talk about weight here in a second, but you'll see that that's where that really plays into here. It does not have 360 wheels. It does have some suspension, but I will say the push is not as premium as these other 2 options, but it also isn't terrible either. I found myself being able to push the stroller. I just wouldn't say I'm able to push it as well with one hand, especially with my older child in the seat. Now let's talk about the folds on these strollers because we know that that's super important. Now the fold on the Mamazing Air Lux definitely has a little bit of a learning curve because you have to fold the seat forward, so depending on which position you can fold it in either direction, and you should actually put the canopy back before doing that. So bend the seat forward and then you just pull this little handlebar on the back and that will collapse the seat. And then the most confusing part for me to figure out is you have to actually bend the handlebar forward until it locks right there. And then you do have to latch the stroller here on the side. So you have that little plastic thing. And in general, it does stand when folded, which is so nice. And this stroller only weighs 15.8 pounds. So it is super lightweight. And that's where you see the carbon fiber really shining in this stroller. On the Nuna Triv, you're just gonna push the 2 buttons on the back of the seat, throw the seat forward, and then there is a strap here in the back, and you just pull it like that. It weighs 18.7 pounds with all of the attachments. Now the Nuna Triv Next will stand when folded, but you have to make sure the wheels are turned in like a specific position, and the handlebar needs to be on the lowest setting with the brake on. And the biggest complaint I know parents have from my Instagram DMs is that the fabric touches the floor when it's on the ground. So keep that in mind if you're like in a rainy or muddy climate, you'll just see that there. And then on the SWIV, because the handlebars are not telescopic, you can just leave it in the position you have it, push the seat forward just like you do on the other one, and then pull right here. And then the stroller does stand super easily, and there's no seat dragging on the floor. But it does have a little bit bigger of a fold, and because of the 360 mechanism, or at least that's what I'm convinced, it is the heaviest option we're talking about today at 21 pounds. Now to open each of these strollers, on the Nuna SWIV, you're just gonna pull back the handlebar, and then it pops open there. And then you can easily pull the seat up. And again, you can do this with the seat in either direction, which is so convenient as the parent. And then on the Nuna Triv Next, the same thing. Neither of these strollers have latches. So you'll just pull open the stroller here and then pull the seat up. And then on the Mamazing Air Lux, you're gonna want to undo this latch here. You just twist it to the side. And then also it really easily pushes open. You'll want to expand the handlebar with that one-handed button, and then just pull the seat up, and then you'll also have to pull the bumper bar up on that one as well. So who are each of these strollers best for? I think the Mamazing Air Lux is a great option for families who want a more affordable version of the Nuna Triv and Nuna SWIV. The price point difference on this is amazing, and you can get the bassinet for only $50 more, which I love having a bassinet in the newborn stage. It has been very difficult to find the bassinet for the Nuna SWIV and the Nuna Triv Next. Currently in America, I'm not sure if that's true everywhere else in the world. And so having that option to be able to have a bassinet, I could definitely see myself as a new mom who didn't have the money at the time to buy a Nuna stroller, being really happy with this. And what I really like about it is you can pair it with a Nuna Pippa car seat. So with the included adapters, you could have the Nuna Pippa RX and pair it with this stroller and still have that lightweight design. Now, is this stroller perfect? Are the materials not as premium? Is the push just okay? Yes, that's true. But I think for the price, it's not a bad option. I think the Nuna Triv is gonna give you more all-terrain capabilities, especially with the Nuna Triv LX coming on, and I love that that one has a newborn recline. So I think the Nuna Triv has always been a favorite of mine, but the low basket capacity, it not standing really well when folded, and how difficult it is to get access to the bassinet, and on top of that, it's $500 just for the bassinet. I think that that is something to keep in mind. And in regards to the Nuna SWIV, we are seeing this stroller grow in popularity a lot. I think the thing that is really nice about this stroller is you get a sturdier frame than you do on the Triv Next, the really cool 360 wheels, which dads love. And you also have a higher basket capacity at 22 pounds, as well as getting added accessories like a cup holder and a rain cover for the price. Now it is at a higher price point of $1,000, but I think overall, any of these strollers could be great options, and I'd love to hear below what questions you have and what other stroller reviews you'd like to see me do. Thanks for watching.